Macmillan English.
Macmillan English Language Book 3. Track 12, Unit 3.
Space travel. 1. Who were the first space travelers?
The first travellers in space were animals. In 1947, some fruit flies flew in a spaceship for 3 minutes. They returned to Earth safely. 2 years later, a monkey called Albert II flew 130 kilometres above the Earth. The first animal to travel around the Earth was a little dog called Laika in 1957. Her spaceship was just 4 metres high.
2. Who was the first man in space?
The first spaceship to take a man into space was like a big ball. But not a very big ball. It was just 2.3 metres across. The flight in 1961 was 108 minutes and went around the Earth once. The flight controllers did not know how to land the spaceship safely. The astronaut, Yuri Gagarin, jumped out before it crashed. He landed with a parachute.
3. Who was the first man on the moon?
A few years later, men travelled to the moon. That's 400,000 kilometres there, and then 400,000 back again. The rocket they used was huge, 111 metres high. The first man to walk on the moon was an astronaut called Neil Armstrong in 1969. He said it was one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. He spent 2.5 hours on the moon.
4. How did men travel on the moon?
After a few trips to the moon, the astronauts wanted to see more of it, so they took a moon buggy with them. They drove around on the moon. It did not go fast, but it was fun.
5. What were space shuttles?
From 1981 to 2011, space shuttles flew into space and back. Space shuttles were planes that could fly in space. They flew around the Earth at 28,000 kilometres per hour. The astronauts saw a sunrise and a sunset every 45 minutes. Then they came back to Earth and landed like a plane.
6. What is happening in space now?
Travel to the moon stopped in 1972, but people still travel in space. Space stations are huge spaceships that stay in space all the time. Scientists go to space stations to study, sometimes for a few days and sometimes for a long time. One man stayed for 427 days. Today, astronauts live and work on the International Space Station. It travels around the Earth 16 times a day. It flies 530 kilometres above us, but it is very big, and you can see it from Earth. So, keep your eyes open.
Track 13, Unit 3, Listening.
2. Who is speaking? Listen and write the letter. Number 1.
I love driving this buggy. It's really fun. I can drive all over the moon on it.
Number 2.
The work here at the space station is very interesting. There are things we can do here that we cannot do on Earth. And there aren't many people who can say, I work in space.
Number 3. It lands like a plane, but it is very fast. When the wheels are down, I open a parachute. That helps to stop us. Number 4.
I like floating out here. I can see the Earth, the moon, and many, many stars. It's beautiful. I enjoy my spacewalks, but I need to get inside now.
Track 14.
3. Listen and say.
We'll be back soon. We won't be long. We're going to the moon for the afternoon. Jump in, close the door, counting 3, 2, 1. The engines roar. We're off. What fun! Up through the clouds, into outer space. Please go slower. It's not a race. Hey, are we lost? The moon isn't so far. We're landing at last. But this is a star. We won't be back soon. It wasn't much fun. We didn't go to the moon. We went to the sun. And it's hot, hot, hot.
Track 15. Unit 3, Spelling.
The letters EA in some words can make a long sound like E. Leap. Jeans. The letters EA in some words can also make a sound like a short E. Eh. It's time for bed. Lay down your head.
Track 16, Revision 1. 2. Listen and read.
We flew over the mountains in Canada.
We rode on a big red bus in England.
We took pictures in Russia.
We ran along the Great Wall of China. We found a lost city in South America.
We climbed the Eiffel Tower in France. We drove across the desert in Africa.
We saw kangaroos in Australia. Track 17. 5. Listen and say which place.
Come on, Professor!
I'm coming, Billy.
They can jump a long way, can't they?
Yes, their legs are very strong.
Look down there, Professor!
They're very high and there's snow on the tops.
What a lot of cars!
This is a big city, Billy.
How many steps did we climb?
Oh, more than 100. Now we're really high up.